You're listening to the Chronicles of Living podcast, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. Now let's talk.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop on the road of life. You can't stop. You can't stop moving. Keep move. Keep that pace. You switching to gear. Let's go as we climb up the hill. Don't slow down. Pedal a little more. The mind is working. It's in control. Your wheels are turning a little more. Going higher another notch. Keep it steady, don't watch the clock. Go round, cycle.
Greetings, my visionary dreamers. How's everybody doing on Let's Talk Sunday? Today's topic is life is a gamble. Yes, it is. And this is ADionne. Be right back.
We are learning, always turning later. Cannot stop the time. Always merging into lanes that better suit us as we ride. Switch it up. Switching to gear, let's go. As we climb up the hill, don't slow down. Pedal a little more. The mind is working, it's in control. Your wheels are turning a little more. Going higher another notch. Keep it steady, don't watch the clock. Go round.
To those who are just listening for the first time, this is ADionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself, the world, from some real bullshit. And you are listening to Chronicles of Living podcast show, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know us extraordinary folk doing the damn thing the best way we can. And as I said, today's topic is life is a gamble. It is. And I just want to apologize. My voice is on way deep because I just woke up. Let me tell y'all how I almost overslept for real. Like I was sleeping like a baby. I had my alarm set for, I think, 4:30. Called myself taking a nap. I had got up really early, worked late, got up early, and I was like, I'm going to take a little nap in between so I could be nice and refreshed. And by the grace of God, my Mac computer, it talks when it reaches every hour. So and it was up very loud for some reason. So I heard it say just faintly, it is 7 o'clock. I was like, 7 o'clock? I just jumped up out the bed like, oh my God. And it's set for half an hour early. So really it was 6:30. So I'm like, oh my gosh, the show. Let me get myself together. And I really wanted to record this show video wise. I had every intentions on recording this show video wise for YouTube so that I can, get that ball rolling. But no, I look a hot mess right now. I had to go brush my teeth and all that, just get myself together. Anyway, life is a gamble. And this topic came about because if you've been following the show, I started doing Uber and Lyft on the side. And outside of, everything else I do. And I meet a lot of interesting people. And one of the people that I met a couple of weeks back was a professional poker player. I've never met a professional poker player. And I picked him up from, he was out, it was late. He was out at a gentleman's bar. And he was so distraught. I'm like, everybody that gets in the car, I'm like, how was your day? To just get the conversation going and let them talk and listen and see if they got something on their chest during the ride that maybe I can inspire them through, encourage them through before they get out the car. That's my thing. So just like with the podcast show, this is what I do when I'm driving, and I love it. So he goes on to tell me how, you know, he lost. He's a professional poker player, and he lost. He came in last place. And now, I'm going to tell y'all, what last place meant to him was $24,000. So, he got $24,000 to come in last place. But this man was distraught. It's like, okay, let me come in place for $24,000. See how distraught I'm going to be. But, you know, I say all that to say, that was something that we talked about, how life is a gamble, anything that you do in life. But his angle that he came from was that everything that we do, we're a slave to. That was his angle. He was like, you know, you doing Uber, Lyft, you're a slave to that because you don't know if you're going to make money or how much money you're going to make. And you know, he just went on to talk about he's a slave to the gambling and things of that nature. And I explained and took it from a whole different angle. I said, no, you're only a slave to doing something that you're doing because you're obligated or you feel like you have to do it. Now, that's when you become a slave to something. Me doing Uber or Lyft, it doesn't matter how much money I make because that is not my end all. That is not my, like, all that I have going for me. So I can turn on the app, turn it off. And if I stop the show right now and after I get done, if I want to go in the car and turn the app on and make money, I can. And I can stop whenever I make whatever I want to make or not. So to me, that's not being a slave to it, but it is a gamble because you really don't. You don't know how much you're making from day to day when you're doing it. He goes on to say how, you know, I told him about I have children. I don't know why there's popping. I don't know if you hear that, but I apologize if there's popping on your end. But he goes on to say how, you know, he doesn't have any kids. And I talked about my kids. And he's like, you know, you're a slave to your kids. And I was like, no, I don't feel that way, you know. Because he was saying how, you know, you got to take care of them and all of that whole bit. Again, if this is something that you want to do, and even if you had kids and it was unplanned, which my son was unplanned, but I don't feel like I'm a slave to him. I could choose to be a good mother, a great mother, or a horrible mother, or no mother at all. In life, we are always faced with choices. And it's really according to your characteristic as to how you want to attack life, how you want to live life, how you want to approach things, obstacles, struggles, and what are you capable of doing? How, you know, far will you go? How your integrity is wired. This, to me, is what life is about, you know. And the gamble part comes in because everything in life, you do take a chance, you know. As I talk all the time, everyday living is about, of course, you got to have your source of how you're going to make money. You're going to, you know, if you have a spouse, if you have kids or whatever, how you're going to take care of them. It's a gamble. Your relationships, whether it be your friendships, whether it be your family, your spouse, partnership, business, anything that you do when it's connected to people, yes, it is a gamble. Or it's connected to things, it is a gamble because I'm so sorry about this popping. I don't know what's going on, but I can't stop to adjust it, so to figure it out. So bear with me, guys. And let me see if I can. So You know, when you get a new job, it is a gamble. It's a gamble because when you first start that job, most of the time, if you're not getting a job just because of the money and you just like excited to work for a certain company or to start a certain career, you're still taking a gamble as to the people that you're going to meet, the people that you have to work with, you know, the clientele that you have to build if it's that type of occupation. That is a gamble. You don't know what type of clientele you're going to be capable of building. You don't know the clientele until you meet them. If they're good, if they're bad, if they're going to stress you out, if it's like this is what you really want to do, you know. And even going into a new work site, are you going to get along with the people? It's just the same as going to school. You know, when we went through school, we had to go to school. Well, we didn't have to go to school, but, you know, that's the design of life. And you go to school, you don't know if you're going to get along with your classmates, if your teacher is going to be a good teacher that you could really learn from. But yet we do it because most of us have to. And now, because it's all a part of life, you have to, you know, see how it connects to your growth. And when I say that, I mean, you know, as you're going through school, as you're going to work, if you have that, if that kid was in class bullying you and now you're an adult, you probably can reflect back on the times that you might have been bullied. How did you handle that? Did you just, you know, stray away from it, or did you just confront it? Did you confront that person, or did you just allow it to happen all through your school year? It kind of can it can show you how you're built, you know, because everything that we do when we're young, I tell my son all the time, what you do now is what's going to play out in real life. So if you didn't confront the bully in school, when you work at a job and when you start a career and somebody's bullying you, whether it be your boss, instead of you confronting it in a certain way, you're going to take on this mindset that, oh, I'm just not going to say nothing because I really need this job. And if I say something, I might get fired. That's where the gamble comes in. That's when you are working as a slave because you're not willing to stand up for who you really are and make your boss acknowledge that. You know, now I ain't saying go out there and get crazy with it. Y'all know what I'm saying. Don't sit up there and be like, yeah, ADionne, you right. Tomorrow when I go to work, I'm going to tell my boss off. I'm going to tell them where they can stick this job. No, don't do that. Don't email me, talk about you made me lose my job. I'm not trying to hear that. When I say things, I mean it. Take it in a logical way. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what makes sense, for real. But there are ways, subtle ways, that you could stand up for yourself and let a person know, listen, we both work, we both are in this career or whatever, and you had to start somewhere just like I did, and I am not beneath you. Although you might be making more money than me, you will not talk to me any old kind of way because I am a human being just like you are, and I am a person and I have feelings and, you know, things of that nature just like you. And if you want me to respect you, you're going to respect me. You know, there are ways that you could go about doing that. Now, my way might be a little, I mean, I'm a just straight up person. Every last job I've had, and I've had very many, I might be saying it wrong. I had many jobs. Let's say that. I had many jobs. I had different careers I've started. And whether it came to a so-called boss or a client that got out of pocket, I checked them ASAP to let them know, like, listen, in a nice way. Like, listen, okay, I want to get this job done just as well as you want it to get done. But, you know, there are ways that we can have this conversation, you know, like now, if I said what you just said to me, to you in that tone of voice, would you like that? Like, I'm going to put the foot on a other person, feet person. I always do that. I will draw that thing out for them right then and there. Like, okay, take a different scenario and say, now, what if I did this to you? But I might even paint a whole different picture where they don't even realize where I'm about to come from. And then they sitting up there, oh yeah, okay, well, that's what you just did to me. So how you feel? You know what I mean? But we have to realize that everything we do, it is a gamble. And sometimes it's not going to turn out the way you want it to turn out. You might feel like you lost, and whatever the chance, the opportunity that you took, you might feel like you crapped out, as they say when you play dice. But I'm here to tell you that you don't crap out. It's just life showing you, and teaching you from your reaction, from how you deal with whatever it is you feel like you crapped out on in life. That's what is the gamble. You, how you address you. Let's say it that way. How you take you. You know what I mean? How serious are you going to take yourself? How serious are you going to take life? And in so many different instances, you're going to take life serious. But when I say take life serious, and I have a show that's saying life is not that serious. And when I say that, I mean, some of us get so caught up in the gamble of putting ourselves out there and it not working out the way we want it to work out. And then some of us can go into a depression because of that. And that's not what it's about, y'all. So I was listening to, the other day, I think it was Monday. Y'all know, if y'all been following, well, if you don't follow, I meditate a lot, and I do yoga, but meditation is my thing. When I got a lot of stuff on my head, I'm telling y'all, meditation, breathing, breath techniques is everything to me. It's what keeps me calm. It's what keeps me focused. And so Monday, I did a real deep meditation session for myself and my body and my mind, my soul, my spirit. And when I came out of that meditation, one of the things I was meditating on is just direction and the things that I'm pursuing in life and what I need to throw away, what I need to keep, what I need to move forward on, and things of that nature, and asking God to reveal to me the things that I need to keep moving forward with, and confirm to me the things that I am doing right. And this is what I do, and this is how I stay on task. And so when I came out of that meditation, and this is how I'm always very observant of the things that are placed in front of me or come around me, especially after meditation, because most of the times they are signs and answers to your requests to God, as to the things that you need to know about you and what you're doing in life, And I was going on my cell phone after that, looking at something. I think it was a YouTube video. I was trying to find how to do something. I can't remember what it was, but this video of Tyler Perry popped up with Joel Osteen. I don't know if you know either one, but Tyler Perry is a comedian. Is a playwright, movie writer. Man, he's everything. And Joel Osteen is a pastor of a big church out in, what is it, Dallas? I think it's Dallas. Might be saying it wrong, but he is one of my stations on Sirius XM. He's the bomb. He's a very calm pastor, and he just pretty much, talks real stuff, and he had Tyler Perry on, well, at his show, but on a YouTube video. It's just a video of Tyler Perry coming, and Tyler Perry was talking about basically how he got to the point he is and the journey that he had to take to get to where he is. And I felt like this was my answer to my prayers, to my meditation as to what he was talking about, because he wanted to talk about how he had such a rough childhood, but out of his childhood birthed his imagination to write. And he didn't realize it then, but as he got older, something happened where he decided to start writing plays. And so he took a gamble with his income tax, and I hope I'm pretty much reciting what he said right. It might not be in the right order, but I'm just trying to sum it up for y'all. But he took a gamble with his income tax check, and he rented a place that seated like about 200 people. This is how he got started with the plays first. And he had these big plans for this 200 people to show up. This is what he was going to do. And he, was going to do this play thing. And 30 people showed up, but the 30 people that showed up was his friends, everybody he knew. And so he was distraught, like, wow, it didn't work out as I planned it. I took a gamble. He didn't say this part, but I'm just speaking to you and saying this is the gamble of life, that he rolled those dice and put it out there like, this play gonna be the bomb. It's gonna be like 200 people. I'm gonna make this money. Then I'm gonna do enough flipping, and I'm gonna do another show. That was his game plan. That was his gamble. And it didn't work out as he planned it to work out. But in actuality, it did work out, because one of the people decided that, I like this play. I'm going to invest, and started helping him out. And they started doing plays all around everywhere, even though they didn't work out. For 7 whole years, this man, Tyler Perry, that we all know and a lot of us love, that is making buku money right now, for 7 years, he put on play after play after play. He moved. He worked at job after job, and every job that he got, he worked there for a few weeks. And the investor was like, we're going to do a play over here. And he asked for a couple of weeks off, and it was too new. He wasn't even finished his probation, every job he got. And therefore, he said he heard the voice of God say, well, quit. And he would quit and take the money that he made for those months or a couple weeks or whatever and roll with it and gamble again that this play was going to pay out. And he found himself living out his car, towards the end. And he got to the point of this 7 years of doing this play after play and it not working out. But he wasn't giving up. He wasn't giving up. And his mother told him, look, just get up, give up. It's time. Let it go. Get a regular job. It's not going to work. And this is his mother, the mother he loves, the mother who raised him, that birthed him, that he felt should have believed in him, and which she did. But as he said, when we have loved ones, when we have friends, they say things thinking that they're protecting us. This is what Tyler Perry said. I'm reiterating what he said on this point. They think they're protecting us because they see us. And in their mind, they think that we're failing time after time after time again. We're gambling with our life and with our time, and it's not working out. And from the outside looking in, they feel like, now this is me, people feel like, what? Why are you wasting your time? Let it go. But these are the people that don't have the big dreams that you might have, that God put on your heart to do. And therefore, as Tyler Perry say, and I say all the time, your dream is for you. So people can't see what you can see. People can't hear that voice, that little voice that tell you, do this. And you sitting there fighting with that whole gamble of life once again, as I do, time after time. When I hear that voice telling me, ADionne, do this, start that. And I'm like, look, I'm tired of starting things and doing things and it don't work out right and it don't pay off. I'm tired of that guy. Like, what's up? Why you keep giving me these big behind dreams? This is me talking now. I'm off Tyler Perry. But I'm kind of going back and forth. But he feel the same thing that I feel. And I really, really connected with that video. And it was for me. It was confirmation from God to let me know, yes, I'm on the right path. Forget about the gambles that I felt like I crapped out on. Forget about that. It was all stepping stones to get me to where I am today, to the knowledge, the wisdom, the perseverance that I have built within me. You know what I mean? That I can share with you guys, and I can encourage you guys and motivate you guys, inspire you guys through my gambles of life, to show you that it is a gamble. But you got to be willing to take it regardless of what everybody else thinks, what everybody else think they see. Think they see that you're crumbling, and you are. When it's a big dream, oh, you're going to crumble. You're going to crap out a lot. But you got to be willing to get back up. You got to be willing to continue to follow your heart. Because at the end of the day, just like the last show, when I talked about if you die today, like, would you be happy with your life? At the end of the day, it is your life. Now, I'm not saying like, do some old craziness. Do everything in order. Work hard at having it in order and having a balance. And I know it's hard to have a balance when you have big dreams. I know this. Trust me, I know it from experience. But I'm here to say, when you have those friends and those family members that tell you to give up and let it go, you got to start looking at their life and saying to yourself, and there's nothing wrong with it, like, have they ever went after a big dream outside of doing their norm, going to a 9 to 5 or 7 to 8, 7 to 11 or whatever? How is this person built that's telling me to give up? Do they know what it is to pursue a dream or a vision? Do they know that? And if they have never done that, and even if they did, and they crapped out and they gave up on the first or second or third try, that is not for you. We are all wired differently. All of us. We are individuals for a reason. All of these things. And like, I was listening to Steve Harvey came on right after that. Another person that's really doing great now, got a whole lot of things going on, but he took a gamble on life. When he first started as a comedian, he always had a dream that he was going to be on TV since he was young. But he had a stuttering issue. But we don't know that. We wouldn't know that if he didn't tell us. He doesn't have that stuttering issue right now. But because of that, his teacher told him, boy, stop playing. You know what I mean? And it was all through a relationship. Some girl he went out that dared him to go get on stage at this comedy club. It's where his journey began. And he got on that stage and he actually won the competition. I mean, of course, I'm shortening the story due to time, but he won the competition and he said he only won $50, but he cried. And the reason why he cried was because he felt in his heart that was it. That was his gamble of life to take. That was the thing that was going to get him on TV. Here he was. Never did stand-up comedian a day of his life. And because some girl dared him to get on stage, he did it. He faced it. He faced his fear, if it wasn't fear at all. You know what I mean? But he did something that was out of his comfort zone, and he won. And from there, that was confirmation for him from God, like, this is it for you. This is your gamble of life. This is what your path that you're going to take to get you where you need to get to. You know what I mean? And through that, he wound up, living out his car because he gave up everything. He went to work and he quit, like Tyler Perry. And like I have done plenty of times, I would quit. Like, this is not for me. It's taking up too much of my time, this job, and I could do something better with my time. Time after time, I've had so many jobs. I've moved so many times. If y'all been following, 51 times out of my life, I moved because I always felt there was something more to life for me. Something is missing, And when you have that feeling inside you, you can't escape it. And people around you, they don't understand it because it's not their feeling. It's not their life. So you have to get to the point that you're comfortable with you. You have to get to the point that you're comfortable with your decisions. Rather, you crap out to everybody else or not, but you're not crapping out to yourself. You are not a slave, as the poker player was talking about, to anything that you want to pursue in life. You have to decide and get to the point that if it's not really working out for you, that it's time to either let it go or just put it aside. There are a lot of times that I've started something that could have been big and I put it aside. If you've been following, I used to make clothes for a living straight out of high school. That was my first, certification degree, however you want to look at it, what I went to school for. And I was really good at this. And I was doing things, as my cousins say, I'm always on warp speed. I was doing fashion so before my time. I was already putting rhinestones and glitter on sneakers and on shirts, sequins on shirts and all of this. And people thought I was weird. This was back in the 80s I was doing this. You know what I mean? Early 90s, very late 80s. I'm rhinestone glittering little Value City sneakers and skippies and stuff like that. And everybody thought I was weird. And I did this stuff for some years. And then I got burnt out. And I stopped. I stopped my fashion. I stopped sewing. Just cold turkey stopped. And then some years later, here I see in the store, rhinestone sneakers, glitter sneakers, shirts with all the things that people thought I was weird wearing is now the hot commodity. Sitting on the shelves, sitting in the stores, on the jeans, all the things I did to the jeans, all these different things, the rhinestones sat up there for days doing all of this stuff. Now they in the stores. I'm like, what the, what just happened? This just went right over my head. Everybody thought I was weird. Now everybody walking around with something that I was doing 10 years ago. Way before my time. And this is what happens when you are a dreamer, when you are a visionary type of person. God gives you the vision way before everybody else. And it's up to you to decide, are you going to stick with this vision to see it come through to full fruition, or are you going to give up? And I gave up before my time. Not to say that because I'm always before my time that I can't come out with something new at any time. I always can. But the bottom line is, the point I'm making is this. Your dream is for you. It's for you. And people are never going to get it the way you get it. So when you share with people, when people come at your neck and say, oh, like a very good dear friend of mine I love so much with all my heart, he knew me from, oh my gosh, since I was young, 14 or whatever. And so he's watched not everything but majority of the things, like my strong points, my music, my fashion and stuff like that. He knows the time that I put into that and how long I was doing it. And now he knows the things that I'm doing now, like the podcast show and the website designing and all of this stuff and all the things I'm capable of doing. And he said to me the other day, he was like, you're so talented, you're so creative. He's like, but where's the money? Like, I don't get like why money is not coming out of this in the big format. It's coming out, but not to the extent that it's like, oh my gosh, I could just buy houses for my family, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I went on to explain to him that I had to go through this journey and learn all of this stuff. I realize now that every time I started something big and something came up and I had to stop to pay my bills and work real hard like Tyler Perry, get a job, you know what I mean, to survive, and I had to put things on hold. It was just that. I was putting it on hold, but I had acquired this new thing, this new skill in that process that now can come into this time, space, reality in my life that I can incorporate all together. And I had to learn who I was through this journey. how I'm built. I had to learn, how do I balance all of these skills? How do I balance all these talents? Because I've been blessed tremendously by God with different talents and skill sets. And I'm capable of doing pretty much things that people go to 4 years of college for. I'm able to do. If that's what I want to do, all I gotta do is look up a couple of tutorials and stuff, and I do it. For some reason, I'm just blessed like that. And as I was saying, sometimes it could be a blessing and a curse in the same way, because when you know how to do so much, it's hard to determine what is it that you need to focus on first to get off the ground. Like Tyler Perry had to focus on the plays first, and then get and build that up to a certain level. And then after that, he started doing movies and, things of that nature. Same thing with Steve Harvey. He had to focus on his comedy skills. And after that, he writing movies, he writing books and things of that nature. He doing game shows and all of this different stuff. And so that is where that's the point I had to get to, and I am now at, by the grace of God, with maturity, with growth, with the obstacles, with all of these things together has created me and who I am right now. And had I not stumbled and fell and took life gambles on certain things, I wouldn't be to this point. I wouldn't acknowledge that, okay, I see why now it wasn't time for that to happen. I see why now, if that would have happened at that time, I wouldn't have been always prepared to handle the success that came with it. Sometimes God will stall you until you're totally prepared to handle the success that's going to come with the thing, the dream, the vision, the goal that you have set, that you see. Sometimes God, I don't even believe sometimes, I think it's all the time. God has to stall your life to make sure you're ready. Because if you're not ready to receive the success that's going to come with your dreams and your visions and your goals, you're going to crap out in such a big way that it can just make you so distraught that you just give up on life. I'm here to tell y'all, I've seen it time and time again, when people just all of a sudden get this fast success and they didn't go through enough to learn who they were, to get the strength to endure anything that came that knocked them on their butt. You know what I mean? And so it's just like with me, if you've been following me, I was working for an organization and the different clients and helping kids, at-risk youth and artistic kids with life skills and getting jobs and stuff like that. And I did that. But this is the nonprofit that I built too, but I was working for another company and it was tight, money-wise. But I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is where I need to be. But this was the gamble that I took. And recently I realized that, okay, that gamble was just enough to make me acknowledge, hey, ADionne, this is something you can do. This is something that you like to do. And you can do this shit for yourself. You know what I mean? And make your own amount of money. So that's what I got out of that. And I left the organization alone. Not on bad terms, I just was like, you know what? This is just not for me. It's not paying my bills. You know what I mean? So I had to keep it moving. But that was the life gamble I took, and I got some valuable information for myself out of it, confirming me again, confirming the way I was wired, the things that I like to do, and the things that I need to continue to pursue. So I know my time is winding down, but, I just hope that this podcast show is really, really helping you in so many ways. Definitely it's going to help everybody in different ways according to where you are in life, according to your dreams, your visions, your goals, what you're facing. But my prayer is always that after you finish listening to the show, while you're listening to the show, that something clicks in you to let you know that You are thebomb.com, and you can do the damn thing. You are capable. You have every tool that you need. If you just be patient with yourself, if you just be patient with the process, and if you just stop listening to everybody else telling you what you're capable of, telling you what's not going to work, telling you that you need to give up. They're not you. Remember, you are an individual. God placed you here for a purpose. We all have our own purpose in life. We all have our own assignments in life. And once we realize that, and we get rid of the fear, get rid of walking into the unknown, that's when things start to happen. And yes, life is a gamble, even when it comes to relationships. But if that relationship is something that you feel in your heart that is good for you, it's healthy for you, it's healthy for your kids or whatever, then you fight for it. You fight for it. But remember, it takes two people when it comes to a relationship. And if one is not willing to fight, you have to put a cap on just how long you're willing to fight. You don't want to take your whole life fighting for something somebody else don't want. Same thing with a job. Same thing with, a career. You have to determine when is it time to not quit, but to put it aside and maybe revisit it if God brings it back to you. And that's how you know. If God brings something back to you, rather it be a career, rather it be a dream, rather it be a relationship that you thought was old, and He puts in your heart to revisit it, then you know that's for you to pursue. So, I'm going to leave y'all with that. We are not slaves to what we do unless we're obligated to it, unless we're doing it just for the money. Unless we're doing it just for the accolades, just for, the acknowledgement, then you're a slave to what you do in life. You're a slave to what you pursue in life. But if you're doing it because this is what you have in your heart, that God has showed you time and time, and you just can't shake it, and you don't know how to go after it, trust me, when you let go, you let God, He will show you the path to take to get from point A to Z and to complete this dream, this vision, and this goal that has been held so heavily in your heart for years. Just let go and get out your own way and forgive people, because when you don't forgive people, that's blockage. Bitterness is blockage. That gets in the way of you having the success that you deserve and that God has created you to have in this time-space reality. So, forgive, let go, move on, love yourself first, love others, be respectful to yourself first, value you so everyone else can see they need to value you, they need to respect you. Because it's not until you love, respect, and value yourself that you're going to get that from anybody else. Remember that, You are in charge of your own happiness. I say this all the time. Nobody's empowered to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy first, okay? Take your power back. Let go. Release. Move on. And forgive folk. Okay? So, with all that being said, I love you guys. Please subscribe, share, download the app in the Google Store, Chronicles to Living Podcast Show. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And thank you guys for all of your support. I so appreciate y'all. If I can kiss y'all all, hug y'all all, hey, I would, but take that, and I will definitely talk to y'all next Sunday. I am working on some things, and I am going to bring Wednesday back very soon, but I have to get things in order, and that's what it is. So, till then, keep enjoying the show. Go back, Check out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes. The show is pretty much everywhere now. Chronicles of Living podcast show. Whatever platform you like listening to it on, kudos and do it and like it and share it. All right? Love you guys. Talk to y'all next Sunday. Mwah. You are listening to Chronicles of Living podcast show with ADionne, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know us extraordinary folk doing a damn thing the best way we can. Till next Sunday. Peace. Thank you for listening to Chronicles of Living, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. And if you are pursuing your dreams, I'm proud of you. Because the best part of life is when you decide to live. To keep up with us, please visit chroniclesofliving.com. Until next time, this is ADionne, your dream pusher. I love you guys.